Okay. All right, so I just sent the new link. It looks like a number of you have already found it. Apologize for that. We'll wait a second, and the internet disrupted from the car to the high school, so we had to set up a new stream. But I'll wait a couple of seconds before we get going. Awesome, thank you, Marie. Let's let some people check their email and get logged in on the proper one, and then we'll get back to it and celebrate. All right, I'm gonna put my mask on because there are people in the other room that we're going to. Can you guys hear me? Would someone mind leaving a comment if you can hear me okay through this mask? Okay, you can hear me. Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Gaddis. All right, it looks like we have about the same number of people before we had internet issues. So I believe we left off at the child nutrition, and so I want to recognize our child nutrition employee of the year, Ms. Paula Nunez over at Navarro Elementary. Congratulations, Ms. Nunez. At Lockhart Junior High School, our 1.5 champion, Mr. Jeffrey Knickerbocker. Congratulations, Mr. Knickerbocker. At Carver Early Education Center, Jacqueline Sawyers. Congratulations for being our 1.5 champion there. And at Pride High School, our 1.5 champion. Congratulations, Miss Baker. And at the transportation, our employee of the year for transportation services goes out to Tina Joseph. Thank you, Miss Joseph. We'll be waiting for that picture. Waiting for that picture from you. We just had the chance to go by her house. And we want to celebrate our Heart of Lockhart ISD award. She around the corner. Will you bring her in, please? It's going to go out to Ada Rivera. And I want you guys to be able to celebrate with me on this one. You hear the noise back there going on already. Miss Rivera coming? Let's give a big Lockhart applause for her. Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations. So we want to thank you guys for going on that trip with us and allowing us to celebrate live with you guys. We thought that'd be a fun way to kind of close up our awards this morning. As I mentioned, we started at 7:30 on the road, and we're trying to time it to where we'd have this last one left. And I apologize for the technology disruptions. Our staff all across the district then with these awards this morning. So congratulations to all of our winners this school year. Thank you for all of your service, everything that you've done. We're very proud of of everything that you've accomplished, and obviously we'd love to give awards to a lot more people. Everyone in our district, especially this year, but always are well deserving of recognition and awards, and we're proud to do that. We had a couple of things that I did want to go over. As I mentioned last time, I appreciate you guys when you hear different things. You ask questions, and that we have a two-way communication loop. And when I hear questions often, that tells me that it's important that I need to share some information, because a lot of people have the same questions. So I did want to discuss a couple of things, before we go into summer break and before we jump in to everything that the summer holds for us. We do have, thank you, I was saving it for the end. Miss Brent is not only a awesome valet and chauffeur driver, but she keeps me on task. So our two teachers of the year, so we had teacher of the year at every campus. We have a secondary teacher of the year and an elementary teacher of the year. And our secondary teacher of the year goes to Avery DePietro at Lockhart Junior High School. So congratulations, Miss DePietro. And our elementary teacher of the year this year goes to Jesse Galvan at Plum Creek Elementary. Congratulations, Mr. Galvan, and to Mr. Teacher. Both very well deserving. Very hard. All of our teachers of the year were awesome this year, and we couldn't go wrong with any of them. But certainly happy for those two individuals. Mr. Petro is a science teacher representing the science department at Lockhart Junior High School. And Mr. Galvan is a music teacher at Plum Creek Elementary, representing our arts and fine arts department. So congratulations to both of those fine teachers. We're so proud that you're on our staff and on our team here in Lockhart ISD. So I think we hit all of the highlights, all the recognitions that we wanted to do this morning. A couple of things that I want to go over. I've heard a lot of questions. Obviously, as we're ending one school year, we are already having to plan and prepare like we've never done before for what is an uncertain school year to come. And to be quite frankly, frank with everyone, there are a lot of things that are up in the air. A lot of things that we are waiting for guidance from TEA on some things. There are a lot of different things that are floating around there that different school districts are considering, and all the things that we're considering. I just want to express to our staff that we are working with our board of trustees and talking about what is next school year going to look like. And I think it would be still a little early to come out with some hard press plans and say for certain this is what we're going to do. But in terms of our timeline, one that is coming very quickly in the next couple of weeks, we want to make a decision as a district on our school calendar. I know that's a hot topic. The Texas Education Agency, the last couple of weeks has really started to push a calendar that we've been looking at for a couple of years. And I just want to speak clearly that no decision has been made. We have obviously approved our calendar a few months ago, but if we were to make any changes in that calendar, we would do so in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and working with our board of trustees on that. So we are looking at some different options, and obviously we want to make sure that what we do puts us in a position to have the most successful 2020-21 school year. So we're trying to weigh all those things. But we will be asking for your feedback, not only on the calendar, but for some bigger picture things in terms of what next school year will look like. But I have received that question quite a few times. So I want to, let you know that if you heard we've already made a decision, that is not true. We are still looking at all of our options in terms of a calendar. We are, in terms of working from home, those types of things, the district, we still are working, from home. We're trying to social distance as much as possible. If you need something from central office, from your campus, our staff is, you have to be flexible with us. We do not plan to come back completely, and working on site, whether that's central office or campus-based office staff, until July. So that's kind of what we're thinking right now. We're going to continue to work through June via distance and using technology. But we do look to start coming back and bringing people back in July, whether that's HR, or, business, campus staff, etc. And a couple of other things. So last time that we met, I shared with you some thoughts that we were having regarding our school district budget. As you may know, 75 to 80% of our entire budget goes to pay staff. So whatever decision we make on how we pay folks and what our benefits are really impacts our budget for the entire school district. So at our last school board meeting, the Board of Trustees did approve for us, just like we had discussed at our previous meeting, in giving a 1% one-time payment in November, so that our pay structure will stay the same, and then you'll get whatever the median is for your job category. So the median for a teacher salary, 1% of that in November, in one lump sum payment. So we weighed a lot of the pros and cons of doing a raise, and essentially we wanted to make sure that we were recognizing your work and giving you extra for the next school year, and we felt that by doing it in one lump sum provided our employees more of a benefit than spreading it out over 12 months and not really seeing that in your wallets. So that's the reason for that one-time payment in terms of in November. Obviously we're trying to be conservative with our budget, just like I mentioned last time, so that when whatever happens at the next legislative session in January, we try to make wise decisions now so that we're in the best possible position next school year. The market, taxes, all those things, sales tax are it's going to take a while to recover, and we're just not sure how that's going to impact our school finance situation in Texas, specifically in Lockhart ISD for us. So that's why we're doing the one-time payment. So that's one thing. The other thing that the board approved was a 95% market adjustment. So for teachers, what we do is we study the markets and in deciding our pay scales, and we are very competitive. We've always been very competitive. We want to be competitive with Region 13 and ensure that we're in the top 5. Region 13. We want to be especially competitive with our closest neighbors. Our neighbors to the west of us, to the southwest of us, where the majority of our staff members live in Kyle, Buda, San Marcos area. And we are really competitive with those folks. And I would say that even, when we look at the data, even if we didn't give a 1% one-time payment or any raise, we would still, they are catching up to us. So even if they were to give a 3% raise, we would still, pay more on average at the teacher level. So we've studied the market, and we understand that we will still be competitive even with a 1% one-time payment, regardless of what any other district does nearby. So we also study the market for employees that are not teachers, maybe employees who they're the only person in that job. So their job description, we have to find in other school districts and see how we're paying those folks. So what in part of our pay study this school year, we were able to identify a number of folks across the districts who were in different jobs who were not being paid comparable to what that same job was being paid in another school district. So what we've done and what the board approved was to increase those people's salaries to what the market is. So 95% of what the market was. If someone was paid only 80% of the market, well, they would be brought up to 95% within, so that we can remain competitive and retain our folks. I had some questions about what that meant and what the board did on that action, and that's essentially what it does. We want to make sure that we're competitive with every district in Central Texas, not just at the teaching positions, but at every position across the district. This includes, anything you can think of, any type of office position, aide position, custodian position. We look at everything across the board. So that market adjustment was done to bring everyone up. So let's talk briefly about school for next year. I know there are just a ton of questions about what is it going to look like when we come back, and again, we are still working on those things. We are going to survey staff and parents here in the coming days to get some perception and feeling data on, yes, I feel like I could safely come and work, following TA guidelines. in the fall, or no, I do not feel that way. Because the first thing that we have to get is registration for how many parents are going to send their kids to school, to brick and mortar physical school. How many parents are going to keep their kids home, and we need to plan for that. So that's the first step that we will be doing, is just surveying and asking folks, what are your feelings about coming back to school? What things need to be in place in order for you to feel safe to come back to school, both at the parent level and at the staff level. Once we gather that data, we'll be able to start planning for, okay, so this is the percentage of kids who are planning to come to school. Is that a realistic number, knowing that the state is requiring the 10-to-1 ratio, social distancing 6 feet apart, 30 feet apart from groups of 10, all those things that the state is saying that we're going to be required to do. How do we physically do that in the space that we have with the staff that we have? So we're having to work through all those things. I think it's likely, and I'm fully expecting that we will have kids in our buildings come the fall, and we will have teachers in our buildings in the fall. What that specifically looks like, it's way too early to decide. But I can tell you that we will call on our staff to help us in planning that. And if you are interested in helping, please send me an email personally, and I'll make sure that you have an opportunity to work with us on what those plans look like when we start back. I think that primary reason why our distance learning went as well as it did was because that we involved staff from the very beginning, and we plan to do that in planning for the next school year as well. We think that that's critical to have your voice and for you to have a seat at the table as we're planning and preparing for next school year. So with that said, we still have a lot of work to do. We've got to find out how many kids are planning to be here, how many kids are planning to not be here, and then as a staff, how many staff members feel safe, how many can come, and be safe. So a lot of you have already emailed me. I appreciate those emails. But what I can tell you is that we fully expect to have kids and staff in the building, sometime when we return. And we also expect to have distance learning going on. I think it's going to be some type of a mix. I think it's going to have to be, and we're going to need your voice and your support in planning that out here very quickly. So I'm going to pause just quickly and give, and I may just give you the chance, if you have any specific question that you feel is really big and urgent to everyone, that the 445 people that are on here. If it's something that is more personal, feel free to email me that. But I also want to give the opportunity, if you feel like there's a big burning question that I have not answered. I promised that we would come with an update on the pay or compensation. Oh, I also forgot one thing in our compensation. The board did approve our alternative insurance plan. So I want to thank the District of Innovation Committee, who approved us to seek out other insurance options. Our District Advisory Committee, our DAC team, who also approved it. And then, of course, our Board of Trustees, who approved us to have alternative insurance that'll give you the option to make the best choice. We're proud that the options that you will have will be cheaper per month. Some of you were paying money for the insurance. And we have two different options that you can have you would have to pay less this year than last year, and also when you actually have to use your insurance, much lower cost and out-of-pocket savings that we're very happy for. So that when you include that in our compensation package as well, there's not a doubt that we provide a more comprehensive, better benefits package than our neighbors around us. Let's see. So we will have someone explaining when we do enrollment. We'll have people that will be able to virtually, we're planning for that already, to virtually explain the insurance benefits to you guys so you can make those choices. Um, Again, the calendar changes. We will be making those decisions in the next couple of weeks. Is there a possibility we go back through August? Yes, there is a possibility of that, and we'll be working through all of those pros and cons. Um, but it is possible that this calendar we currently have could change. That is possible. It's possible that it could stay the same as well. But it is. We're looking at all options right now. Um, Okay, so there's a question about the package. I'm assuming that's the insurance. We will get that out to you guys. Um, yeah, we'll get that out to you guys soon, so you can see that and study it, and then be ready to ask questions when we have the folks out before enrollment. Let me scan over, see any questions. Looks like a lot of congratulations, which is awesome, well deserved. Okay. Again, I want to just express how you know how thankful and how honored we are as a leadership team in Lockhart ISD to have you all on our staff. You guys don't have to be on this call, and we have pretty much every professional employee on this call, wanting to be engaged, wanting to hear about what's going on in the district. And I think that's what made us successful this school year, and that's certainly what's going to make us successful as we go into the summer, planning for an unpredictable future. Um, the TEA guidance that we're waiting for. We can't wait forever. Which is why I'm saying in the next couple of weeks we want to make some of these decisions. Um, but we want to ensure that we have some of your feedback. So we will be reaching out to you, and please email me if you'd like to provide your thoughts on how we can open up schools safely and how we can have you feel comfortable and safe coming back to work. Um, is there a possibility that at the start of the school year we'll still be using distance learning? Yes. One of the things that TEA has shared is that the state will not be able, or any school district will be not be able to force kids to come back during a pandemic. Usually in a regular school year, when kids are absent, when kids come to school, we have some things that we can do in terms of attendance and courts, and there's some truancy laws and truancy guidelines. In this situation, because of the pandemic, we will not have those things. So we will be able to provide distance learning to students who don't feel safe, and for parents who don't feel safe bringing their kids back. So we will have to plan for that. I think just kind of logically, when you look at the state scene, you have to have a 10-to-1 ratio in the class. I mean, you guys are, I mean, we just do the simple math. There's no way that we have full schools already, full classrooms already at much higher numbers than that. There's just no way that that can happen. So we have to plan creatively to fit in those guidelines, because, again, those guidelines can change. And if they go from 10 to 15 or 20, those change. And that's the difficulty of it. But, that's our job, is to step up and figure out, okay, with the best information that we have available now, what decisions can we make? What decisions can we make? What's our plan A, plan B, plan double Z, and those types of things. Um, so, will parents have an opportunity to register students in person? Right now, our registration is all online. that we're doing. Distance learning for substitutes, I'm not sure. We have 75 plans. I think we're going to need more than that, Kristen. But there, for example, there's a document right now that we're going through and has almost 100 questions. I think it's 94 questions that need to be answered that we're putting together. So there are a lot of things that we've got to go through. Everything from what happens to a thumb, what happens to if a kid gets it in the classroom, what happens if a teacher gets it, what happens if a principal gets it. There's a lot of things that we're going over. But again, I can promise you that none of those decisions have been made because we want and need your feedback in making those decisions. We have some ideas, we have some things that we could look at, but we need y'all's feedback for sure. And Amanda, I think it's a little early to start planning those things. I know right now, what I hope, and maybe I did an awful job of doing that, is for you to transition. We just finished an incredibly difficult school year. Take some time to kind of think and refresh. Let us get some answers from TEA. When we call you guys for feedback, we want and ideas. We want we want you to be ready to have that conversation in a way that is workable and productive. And I just don't want you guys going out and taking anything that I've said and saying this is for certain. We need to start doing X, Y, or Z, and just take some time to enjoy yourself for the next week or two. And if you're interested in giving us and providing support in what next school year looks like, you'll have that opportunity, and then you can start thinking about that. The big thing right now that we've got to decide is the calendar. That's a pressing one because people need to plan and make arrangements for, what are they going to do if we leave it the same or if we come back earlier, and what that may look like. So that's why we're pressing on the calendar one, just because it impacts us all so greatly in terms of childcare, just in terms of your day-to-day lives. You need to know that sooner. Some of the other things, once we have a calendar, we can work on and build it, but the calendar is a huge one and the urgent one that we've got to figure out pretty quickly. Mr. Salazar, I love your enthusiasm. That's great. Yeah, and that's that to me right there. That gives me goosebumps, right? You guys are fired up. But again, I think you deserved your break. Take some time, and when we put the the bat call out there, the Batman light, I know you guys will come ready to help and support us. All right. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email me. If I get a lot of questions about specific things, I may invite you guys if you want to jump on another YouTube to answer some of your questions, or it may be that I just email you back depending on how many people are asking and different things. But I want to thank everyone for summer camp, that question. So we actually have a meeting that was going to start at 1:30 that we're going to discuss summer camp and all those things. We did get feedback from parents, feedback from teachers on if we can do summer camp, and we'll make a decision this week on summer camp. I'm not sure. I haven't seen all those numbers yet on how many parents and kids want to come and how many staff members we have that want to work it. But we'll make that decision in the next day or two. All right. Okay, so lion light, not Batman. Okay, yes. Thank you, Heather. We'll get one of those lion lights out. And I think Miss Brents, they have a special request. They want you to tell them to wash their hands. Is that a new teacher orientation thing? I think, right? Yeah. And to end, I'll steal one of Miss Brent's favorite lines that I think is relevant in that. things don't get easier, you get better. And I think that the more that we experience in working together and being flexible, the better that we're going to be that we're going to get. Things are going to get easier, but we will certainly get better as we work through this. So I want to thank everyone for being on the call. So apologize for the technical difficulties. We thought it would be worth it and cool to try to see our Lionheart Award, and also to give a quick rundown on the awards that we gave this morning. So congratulations to all you award winners, and congratulations to everyone else who also is well deserving for everything that you do for our kids and that you do for our school. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
There you go. All right. That was a good number.